What is going on, Anime Society, and welcome back to another episode of the Anime Society podcast. We've got a good one for you today. Of course, I am your host, Hunter, along with my co-host and best friend doing this, Jonah. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, fam?
We've got a good one for you today, ladies and gentlemen, but before we get into it, we do want to say, as we do always, a big thank you to those of you who have been listening to all of our previous episodes, for those who have liked all of our videos, and for those who have subscribed to the channel. It truly means a lot to us.
And also, thank you guys so much for all of you who have participated thus far in the Content Creator Q&A. I think we're going to keep it going for a few more installments. It seems like you guys are liking it. So just be sure for Content Creator Q&A session number 4 to make sure that you have questions in the comments below.
And with that, we are going to start today's episode. Jonah, give the people the topic.
So by popular demand, I've heard this from multiple people on Instagram that I've been chatting with, seen it in the comments a couple times, we are doing the most OP characters in anime. And I'm really excited for this one, just because I feel like one of anime's greatest appeals is the beautiful fight scenes, getting to see these incredible powers, whether it's superpowers or magic or psychic ability or whatever. The powers and fights that coincide are one of anime's greatest strengths. And so everyone likes to talk about, who would win in a fight, X versus X, or, who would win in a fight between this series and this series, who's stronger, whatever. And so it's fun to see, who really are the most powerful characters in anime. And so today we're going to walk you through 3 characters from 3 different series who are absolutely OP in their respective series.
And we're going to start off with an anime we haven't really talked about much. And we're going to start off with Black Clover. Black Clover introduces you to a character where at first you think he's just kind of wacky and goofy and some crazy old man, but then you realize, oh my god, the Wizard King, and he's so overpowered when you learn what his powers are. And we are talking about Julius Novachrono. Julius Novachrono is in fact the current Wizard King over the Clover Kingdom. In Black Clover, they have these grimoire that are able to enhance their magic powers. Everybody has some sort of magic that they're able to use, and there can be all sorts of different types of quote-unquote elements that you use with your magic. Some use the obvious regular elements like wind, fire, and water. Some people use weirder elements like cake, or food, or
Mercury.
Bed pillow, or mercury. But what makes Julius Novachrono so overpowered? Yes, it does help that he has proven he is the strongest magician in the Clover Kingdom, or else he wouldn't be the Wizard King. But it's also because he uses time magic. My man can control time with the use of his magic. I know a lot of us probably sitting here are wishing, man, I wish I could go back in time. Well, guess what? Julius can. Man, I wish I could speed this up. This is taking forever. Guess what? Julius can. Not only that, Julius can use his time magic on other people. And it's amazing. Just the thought of being able to control time, if that doesn't scream overpowered, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, he's insane. And I mean, like, the application of his abilities are really cool. You take the way that he can restrain people with his magic. He basically like sends out these bubble looking things. If he touches you with one of them, it puts you inside the bubble, and time for you inside that bubble is essentially stopped. So you can't move, you can't blink, you can't do anything. You're done. The second the bubble touches you, there's nothing you can do. And then he has other applications of it. He can heal any of his own wounds or wounds on other people. All he has to do is reverse time on a certain spot, and he's perfectly healed again. You have applications like he can steal other people's time, and he can use that as a killing technique, basically. If he steals all of the time from you, then you're reduced to nothingness. And he can do it in an instant. I mean, Julius is, and then you put that with the fact that he's incredibly fast. He's incredibly durable. He just naturally, he has an insane amount of magic power. And then you couple that with the fact that his affinity, his magic affinity or whatever, is time magic, and he just becomes absolutely unstoppable.
And not only that, for those of you, if you are big into Black Clover, you'll know what Mana Zone is. If you don't know what Mana Zone is, I'm going to explain it to you. Essentially, it's you can create within an area around you, depending on how strong of a magician you are, how big the area is going to be, and essentially you can use the magic that you have to create almost this zone. It can be a zone full of heat if you can use fire, a zone full of water if you obviously use water. Think about it. Julius Novachrono can control all the mana around him to increase his spells' power and range because of time. He can age the flow of the magic and mana around him, and he can essentially foresee attacks before they even happen. So, how this guy even gets hit, it must be basically him gloating and saying, I'm gonna let you hit me, but I knew you were going to do that. Next time, I'm not going to let you hit me. It's amazing. He is so cool. His character alone is cool, and I know we're not going deeper into his character. We might do that some other time. But just off of his magic power alone, the fact that he can control time and then steal time from other people, if that's not overpowered, like I said earlier, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like you said, with him stealing time, he can build up like a reserve time that he can use for other things. Like I said, whether that's healing or restraining or whatever, he basically stockpiles time, and then he can use it however he pleases. He is absolutely overpowered. Like you said, I mean, it's a miracle if anyone manages to get a hit on him. I mean, you pretty much have to come at him simultaneously, have multiple extremely strong people. And I think the biggest thing is probably like your speed. You have to be able to outspeed him or create a mana zone of your own so you're not affected by his. The whole ordeal of taking down Julius is insanely hard. I mean, the guy is absolutely crazy overpowered.
And that is our first anime character that we think is crazy overpowered. Jonah, why don't you go ahead and bring the people the next one?
The next one is from my all-time favorite title, One Piece, and we are talking about Shanks. And I know for people who are One Piece fans, you might wonder, like, well, like, we don't really know a whole lot about Shanks. You know, he's kind of shrouded in mystery. He's an interesting character because you see very little of him, but like the 5 seconds every 50 episodes that you do see makes all of the fandom like drool over how cool Shanks is. But in my opinion, when you look at Shanks' feats so far, he absolutely qualifies as overpowered. The first example that comes to my mind is in One Piece you have this power that's called haki. And essentially haki translates to willpower in English. And every single person in the One Piece world could learn to utilize their haki in one way or another. It's broken down into 3 different types. You have observation, which allows you to predict the future a little bit, you know, predict movements, like foresight kind of. You have armament, which allows you to clad your body in this kind of like armor to protect against attacks. And then you have conquerors. So everyone in the world is able to use the first 2, but only people that are born with the aptitude for conquerors have access to that ability. And so Shanks is one of those. And in all of the series, we've seen multiple people use Conqueror's Haki, and most of the time, it just means that you exert your will over the will of someone else, and it ends up knocking them out. And it's mainly just used to like knock out fodder. But Shanks, there's a moment where he gets on Whitebeard's ship to have a talk with him. And when he gets on, he's like walking on the deck of the ship, and his Conqueror's Haki, his presence, is so powerful that it cracks the wood in Whitebeard's ship. Like, it has a physical effect on his environment, which is absolutely absurd. We've never seen that from someone just by virtue of their haki.
Just your presence alone can shake and crack wood. I don't know anybody. Can I do that? Jonah, you think if I just show up somewhere and I just walk in the room, I'll just start shaking and cracking wood because of my presence?
You really trying to put yourself on Shanks' level?
I mean, I don't know.
Don't even play with that.
Hey, we'll leave it for the comments to decide. But that's beside the point. I do believe that Shanks obviously is overpowered, and it really helps that he is also a Yonko. This is for those of you people that don't know what Yonkos are. They're one of the 4 emperors that rule the seas of the pirates, essentially. They're like the baddest of bad pirates on the seas. And you have to be pretty strong. You have to be pretty well respected for other people to look at you and label you a Yonko. Look at his contemporaries. That was Whitebeard. Now it's Blackbeard. And then there's the Big Mom and Kaido. They are strong presences, so you have to be able to keep up with them yourself. Not only that, it also plays that at one time, Shanks was a part of the Roger Pirates. He was a part of Gold D. Roger's crew. So you have to be very strong to have been a part of the original Pirate King's crew. So that has to play into it as well. But then it goes to the point that me and you talked about off screen that truly brings to light Shanks' strength. And that plays into his presence alone when he shows up to Marineford and shut shit down by simply stepping off his boat. By simply stepping off his boat, Shanks said, "This war is over." And just like that, both the world government and the Whitebeard pirates, they all looked at him, essentially said to each other, yeah, we don't want this. We don't want this smoke. We don't want this smoke. It's over. Shanks, thank you for letting us both wave the white flags.
And it's crazy too, because like in that war you had Whitebeard, right, and his crew, and he had like 14 different captains, of different fleets. Mm-hmm. And then he also has like all of the people that fly under his banner, his allies. Yeah. They're all there, and the Marines had no problem fighting them. But the second that Shanks and his one ship, 25 people total, the second they showed up, they were like, nah, we out. I'ma head out. We don't want that. It's crazy. And like you put on top of that the fact that Shanks only has one arm. Yes. He lost an arm. This man has one arm, and he has the power and the clout to make the entire Marines, which is the strongest military force that the world government possesses, makes the entire Marines think, we don't want to fight that guy. We don't want any part of that guy. He's way too powerful. And then on top of that, we were talking about this a little bit off screen as well, but not only does he have physical things about him that make him OP, but he also has political and influential things about him that make him OP. Like when you had the Reverie and all the world government leaders are meeting, it shows a scene where Shanks meets with the Gorosei, who are the top of the top, the people that make all of the decisions for the world government. He just walks into their meeting room basically and is like, hey, like I need to talk to you about a certain pirate. Shanks is a pirate himself. No pirate would be able to go into the chamber of the Gorosei in the world government without any kind of like shackles or something on them. And Shanks just walks up and they're like, because it's you, we'll allow it. We'll talk to you. So, he is absolutely crazy overpowered.
And with that brings the second anime character who we think is crazy OP to a close. And now, onto our final character in today's podcast. And he's actually super old. He really is. You look at him and you're like, what is this frail old man going to do? And then he rips his robe off and you realize, wow, he's more shredded than any bodybuilder you could ever think of. And we're talking about Yamamoto from Bleach. He is the leader of all the captains in Bleach. And he has to be the strongest. Some would say, he just has that position because it's a sign of respect. He is the oldest commander of the Goatee 13. Obviously, they all respect him because he sits in a position of power and has been around for so long. And then you realize, wait, he has that for other reasons as well. Nobody wants to F with the man, okay?
Right.
He is battle scarred. You can see it all over his body whenever he takes his kimono off. So you realize the man is battle tested but it's never gotten to him because he's just so strong that he literally emanates heat. He just emanates heat. If you get too close to him, you're gonna get burned. I mean, you guys might think you're hot. No. Yamamoto is hot. Literally.
Yeah. Yamamoto has an ability where when because in Bleach, right, all of these Shinigami, all of these people in the Soul Society, these captains, their job is to bring corrupted or lost souls to rest, and so they have to fight these powerful monsters, and they each are paired with a sword that has a soul of its own, and you kind of form this partnership between Shinigami and sword. And the swords have kind of like different stages, Shikai and Bankai, and each one is like a stronger form of the next, and it takes practice and stuff to move through those ranks. But when he releases his Shikai, which isn't even his final form, his body temperature is elevated to, I think it's like something crazy, like 15 million degrees Celsius. And so he literally becomes untouchable, because the second that you close in on him, you're reduced to ash. You're reduced to nothingness because of the immense heat that he puts off. And so that's one of the things that makes him OP. I mean, you can't even approach the guy. You can't even get close to him, much less try to attack him.
And I think that's what makes him so overpowered, is the fact that he literally could just stand there, flexing obviously with the kimono ripped off of him, but he's just standing there. And in the back of his mind, Yamamoto knows, if you come near me, I don't even have to move, you will die. That's when you have to get him super serious. Even when he's not super serious, he still has all of the physical ability that he has as if he was a young spry chicken. Even though he's an old man, he can still give you the work. I mean, X gonna give it to you. No, Yamamoto gonna give it to you. He has got all of the prowess that a younger Shinigami would have. He still has the sword skills, and it's still cool that he can use flames. Aizen really thinks he can cut down Yamamoto at the state that he is in when they first meet. And Yamamoto catches his hand and is just like, nah, son. Nah, son. I don't think so. Nah, son. And Aizen obviously goes on to be this almost godlike character later on in the show. But at that time, you still think Aizen is the big bad wolf and nobody's ever going to be able to really catch him at this point. But Yamamoto grabs that arm and says, "Come here, boy!" He gets him. He really gets him.
I mean, he's crazy. I mean, even his, like, we were talking about, your presence with Shanks, but with Yamamoto, his spiritual pressure is so powerful that he can literally paralyze people just by him standing near you and exerting his pressure on you. I mean, it's crazy. And then you add the abilities of his sword. His sword is known in the Soul Society as being the most powerful offensive sword. He can, I mean, like we said, it's flame based. But his flames are so hot, he basically just like vaporizes people and things. But then on top of that, his like ultimate ability of his sword is that when he releases his Bankai, which is like the final state of your sword, he can call back from the dead the corpses of every person that his flames have cut down, and basically create this immortal army that fights for him. So every person that he has cut down becomes a pawn for him to use in the future. I actually did not like the way that he went out in Bleach, just because I feel like they hyped him up and they gave him all of these abilities that make him so powerful that it really is like unreasonable that he actually ended up losing.
And with that is going to bring a close to today's episode of the most overpowered characters in anime. Did you agree with our list, or did you not agree with our list? Get in the comments below and let us know. Me and Jonah will be down there carousing our way through the comments, interacting with you guys in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. And also, if you enjoyed all the content we have brought to you thus far with the Anime Society, don't forget to subscribe as well.
Thank you guys so much for all of the support. We really appreciate you guys. We love the society and all that you guys bring to us. It's been a joy to do this channel, and we're looking forward to bringing you some more content.
And with that, we are going to get the heck up out of here, and we will see you next time, Anime Society.
Peace!